This edition is powered by Verbal Transformers, and our headline sponsor is Ghana Limited. Our gold sponsor is Big Stationery Ghana. For updates on the National Core Subjects Quiz, just follow us on all social media platforms, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Just search for the National Core Subjects Quiz, like our pages, subscribe, then you see videos, you see pictures, and any other thing that has to do with the contest right from the beginning up until now. Today, on my left and on my right, we have two schools that we've already seen last year, but they are back again to contest for the trophy and emerge as champions. We have Last Chance Academy and World Gospel International Preparatory School. Before we begin, I'll ask our contestants to introduce themselves. So I'll begin with those on my right.
My name is Elizabeth Boachi.
My name is Rodna.
From
World Gospel International Preparatory School.
And on my left, we have
Justice Into from Last Chance Academy.
I am Skizzy from Last Chance Academy.
Iris and Justice and Elizabeth and Reginald. I hope I'm right. So you're welcome. The school has already been here, but you're back again. So before we begin, I want to know, what are your expectations? Elizabeth and Reginald, what are your expectations for this contest?
Our expectations for this contest is to emerge as winners.
To emerge as winners, okay. Iris and Justice, what are your expectations?
Our main aim is to win the contest.
Are here to win. I wish you the very best and, well, may the better school win. So my name is Na Aika Tego and I will be your quiz mistress. So this particular contest is the last contest we'll have for the preliminary stages. So the winner of this contest will move on to the next round. Then we'll compete with other schools and we'll finally have our winner who will go home with the National Core Subjects Quiz Trophy. For today's contest, we have 4 rounds. Round 1 will be questions on English language and social studies. Round 2 will be questions on general knowledge. Round 3 will have questions on odd, select, and swift response. For round 4, that's the final round, we'll have questions on the logical illustration as well as verbal puzzles. Contestants, for a major question, you have 15 seconds. 15 seconds to provide an answer. And within the 15 seconds, you have only 3 attempts. 3 attempts. However, if there's a bonus, you have just 5 seconds and 1 attempt. I hope that's clear. I hope that's clear. So I believe we can begin. So for this year, the theme is public education, an essential factor for significant impact, growth and development of Ghana. Our theme is public education, an essential factor for significant impact, growth and development of Ghana. Now we begin today's contest. I'll begin with World Gospel. Complete the statement with the appropriate question tag. Now this is to both schools. You have to complete the statement with the appropriate question tags. So world gospel. It pays to be a responsible citizen.
Doesn't it?
Doesn't it? That's correct. Last chance. Jane enjoys watching Korean series.
Doesn't she?
Doesn't she? That's correct. Well, gospel. Let's see the lawyer today.
Don't we?
No. A bonus to last chance.
Shall we?
Shall we? That's right. Your major question, last chance. You all have ID cards.
Don't you?
Don't you? That's correct. Well, gospel. Your question. A bill passed by Parliament becomes law when the President gives his
approval.
No.
Sign.
No. You have one more attempt. Okay, so a bonus to last chance. Audience, does anyone know the answer? I think there's a hand at the back.
Assent.
Assent, that's correct. Last chance, your question. The central government supports district assemblies through a bonus to world gospel. Okay. The central government supports district assemblies through the common fund. The common fund. This brings us to the end of round 1. At the end of round 1, Well Gospel International Preparatory School had 3 points. And Last Chance Academy had 7 points. Move on to round 2. Now this is a preamble to both schools. You have to tell me the SI unit for the following. The SI unit. I'll begin with last chance. Amount of substance.
Candela.
No.
Mole.
Mole, that's correct. Well Gospel with the same preamble. Luminous intensity.
Velocity.
No. A bonus to last chance.
Candela.
Candela, that's right. Last chance academy, your major question. On which date was the Watson Commission recommended?
March.
No. A bonus to World Gospel.
19.
No. The answer is 26th April 1948. 26th April 1948. World Gospel, your question. Who set up the Kuse Committee?
Noble and Clay.
I'll give it to you. So the full name is Sir Charles Noble Aden Clark. Are you okay? All right. Last chance. How many Ghanaians were part of the Kuse committee?
29.
No.
30.
No. Bonus to World Gospel.
18.
No. The answer is 39. 39. World Gospel, your question. Who was the leader of the Kuse committee?
Sir Gerald Kusi.
No. A bonus to last chance. The answer is Sir Henry Kuse. Sir Henry Kuse. Last chance, your question. The immediate cause of the Ya Asantewaa War of 1900 was
1948 rounds.
no. A bonus to World Gospel.
Governor Harrison's demand for the golden school.
That's correct. World Gospel, your major question. Your major question, World Gospel. The bond of 1844 was signed by.
Commander Hills and the Fanti Chiefs.
I'll give it to you. So this brings us to the end of the second round. The third edition of the National Core Subjects Quiz is powered by Verbal Transformers. Our headline sponsor is RNG Ghana Limited, and our gold sponsor is Big Stationery Ghana. At the end of round 2, Last Chance Academy had 4 points. And World Gospel International Preparatory School had 7 points. Participants, we move on to the third round, which is in 2 parts. We have the swift response and the odd select. So we'll begin with the swift response. For this, you have 10 seconds. 10 seconds, where you will solve and provide your answers. For a bonus, you have only 3 seconds. Contestants, are we ready? Are we ready? Last chance, are we ready? World Gospel. You have to simplify. 3a squared multiplied by 2ab multiplied by 4bc. A bonus to last chance.
24.
1.
This one, A raise the power 3, B raise the power 2C.
That's correct. Last chance, your major question. You also have to simplify. AB multiplied by 6B raised to the power 3C multiplied by 3AC. A bonus to World Gospel.
18A raised to the power 5C.
No. The answer is 18A squared B raised to the power 4 C squared. 18A squared B raised to the power 4 C squared. So preamble to both schools. You have to name the following by the IOPAC nomenclature. Did we get that? You have to name the following by the IUPAC nomenclature. Are we ready, contestants? World Gospel. CO3 2 minus.
Carbon oxide.
No. A bonus to last chance.
Carbon dioxide.
No. The answer is trioxocarbonate 4 iron. Trioxocarbonate 4 iron. Last chance with the same preamble. NO2 minus. A bonus to World Gospel.
Nitrite oxide.
No. The answer is dioxonitrate 3 iron. Dioxonitrate 3 iron. We move on to odd select. Odd select. So for this, I'll mention a list of words. You have to pick the odd one out and tell me the reason why it is odd. You pick the odd one out and tell me the reason why it is odd. So, World Gospel. These are your words. Adjectives, composition, nouns, verbs.
Composition is the ornament. The reason is adjective, nouns, and verbs are the part of speech.
That's correct. Last chance. These are your words. Petals, sepals, plume, capel.
Plume. Plume is the odd one out because the petals, sepals, and the sepals all fall under flowering plants.
I'll give it to you. This brings us to the end of the third round. For updates on the National Core Subjects Quiz, follow us on all social media platforms. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. Just search for the National Core Subjects Quiz, like our pages, follow and subscribe. You get to see pictures, videos, and every other information we have that's related to the National Core Subjects Quiz. At the end of round 3, World Gospel International Preparatory School had 3 points. And Last Chance Academy had 4 points. Move on to the fourth round. This round is in 2 parts. We have our logical illustration and the verbal puzzles. But we'll begin with the logical illustration. So for this, I'll read out the illustration for today. You don't start until I ask you to. You have only 5 minutes. Contestants, are we clear? So please come for today's illustration. Today's logical illustration. 1. List all the 4 main parts of a typical flower. 2. State the components of the parts listed above and their respective functions. Are we on the same page, contestants? Okay, so you have 5 minutes, you can begin. once more. Time is up. Please hand in your answers. Contestants, please present your answers on the board just as you have it on paper. For today's logical illustration, this is my solution. The four main parts of a typical flower. We have the calyx, we have the corolla, we have the stamen, and the pistil or carpel. Now, stating the components of the parts listed above and their respective functions. For the calyx, it consists of a group of sepals. Now the sepals protect and offer support to the inner parts of the flower, and they are usually green. The corolla. The corolla consists of a group of petals, and the petals are brightly colored, so they attract insects to help in pollination. The stamen. The stamen is the male reproductive part of the flower, and it consists of the anther and the filament. The anther contains the pollen sac, which produces pollen grains, and the filament supports the anther. And finally, the pistil or the carpel. This is the female reproductive part of the flower, and it consists of the ovary, the stigma, and the style. The ovary contains the ovules, which develop into the seed. The style holds the stigma in position to receive pollen grains, and the stigma receives pollen grains during pollination. Last Chance Academy. For the four main parts of the typical flower, they began by telling us that we have the petals, the sepals, the stamen, and the pistil. I give them 3 out of 4 for that part because the answer I was looking for is the calyx and the corolla, not the petals and the sepals. So for the first part, they get 3 points. For the components of the parts listed and their respective functions. For the answer based on the parts that they wrote, this is the answer they had. The petals, they tell us that they are brightly colored parts of the plants which attract insects. So they get a point for that. And the sepals, they tell us that they protect the flower when it is in its bud stage. I'll give them a mark for that as well. And for the pistil, they tell us that it's the female reproductive part of the plant. They don't go further to break it down, so they get just half a point for that. And also for the stamen, they tell us that it's the male reproductive part of the plant. They get another half point for that. So in total, Last Chance Academy has 6 points. Well Gospel International Preparatory School. For the parts of a typical flower, they tell us we have the stamen, we have the stalk, we have the sepals, and the petals. So just like Last Chance, they also mention sepals and petals instead of the calyx and the corolla. So for that, they get half a point for that each. And for the stamen, they get the full mark. However, for the stalk, that's wrong. So in total for the first part, they get 2 points. For the second part of the question, why they are to give the function of the parts. For the stamen, the cellus is made up of the filament and the anther, and the filament supports the anther, so they get a point for that. And the anther contains pollen grains. I'll give them a point for that too. So in total for that, they get 2 points. That's the filament and the anther together with the functions. Then for the stalk, they tell us that it holds the flower. I don't give them a mark for that because they are stating that as a part of a typical flower, which is wrong. Then the sepals. They tell us the sepals are the colorful parts of the flower that attract insects. That's incorrect. And for the petals, they don't give me any function. So in total, World Gospel International Preparatory School has 4 points. We move on to the final part of round 4, the verbal puzzles. Verbal puzzles. Contestants, for this part you need your bell. You need your bell. So I'll read out a set of clues. When you're ready to give me your answer, you alert me by pressing your bell. So can we hear the bell for World Gospel International Preparatory School? Okay. And for Last Chance Academy. So I'll read out a set of clues. If you get the answer right on the first clue, you get 5 points. On the second clue, you get 4 points. And on the third and any other clue, you get 3 points. Please listen attentively. If I read out a clue, you press your bell and you give me an answer which is incorrect. That's the end. You are out for that particular puzzle. Contestants, do we get that? Do we get that? So be sure of your answer. You press your bell, then you can go ahead. But if you get it wrong, that's it. I believe we can begin. So I begin. I am often found in the agricultural sector. I am a farming system. I am mostly practiced in areas with fresh grasses to graze, like the ACCRA Plains, Afram Plains, Northern Region, and some parts of the Volta region. I am a system in which the farmer keeps and moves farm animals from place to place in search of food and water. Who am I? Yes.
Pastoral farming.
Pastoral farming. The answer that are all the clues, they get 3 points. The final verbal puzzle. We were 3 very brave individuals. We were members of the Gold Coast Regiment. We fought alongside British troops during the Second World War. On the 28th of February every year, we are honored. The reason for our death led to the 1948 riots. Who are we? Yes.
The 3 X-Men. The 3 ex-servicemen.
I'll give it to you. So they answered this after all the clues. They get 3 points. Audience, who can give us the names of the 3 ex-servicemen for a president? The names of the 3 ex-servicemen.
Private Odatin, Corporal Atipo, Sergeant Ajiti.
Thank you very much. So we'll give you your present shortly. This brings us to the end of the 4th round. of round 4, World Gospel International Preparatory School had 7 points. And Last Chance Academy had 9 points. Before we get the final scores for today, I'd like to hear from our contestants the final words you have for us today. Elizabeth and Rodinal. So Elizabeth and Rodinal, World Gospel International, what do you have to tell us today?
What I have for you today is I thank you all for inviting us to this feast.
Elizabeth?
What I have for you all today is we are grateful for accepting us into this challenge.
Thank you very much. We are grateful for having you today. Justice and Iris, anything you have for us today?
Thank you for allowing us to compete in this contest. Thank you. It has really helped us.
I also think we did our best here. Oh, so no matter the marks we get, so like it. Thank you for that.
Thank you for being here with us today. We are grateful to have you. So at the end of today's contest, Last Chance Academy had 24 points. And World Gospel International Preparatory School had 20 points. Congratulations to both schools, you've all done very well. To World Gospel, we are glad you came. We hope to see you again next year. And to Last Chance Academy, thank you for coming. We'll see you at the next stage of this contest. Congratulations. So Last Chance Academy becomes one of the schools to move on to the round of 16 stage of the 3rd edition of the National Core Subjects Quiz. We've come to the end of this contest. My name is Na Ayikaile Tebo, and I have been your quiz mistress. Thank you.